guys, and welcome back to my kitchen. So today I am here to show you how I keep my yam fresh, how I freeze it, how I preserve it for a long time. Yes, so here is the yam. I'm going to peel it, and this is my favorite way of peeling my yam. I'm going to show you another way of peeling it, but this is definitely my favorite way. This is how I usually peel my yam. I peel the whole thing together. Some people will cut it in slices and then peel it easily. Yes, it's easier that way as well, but for me, this is what I'm used to. Yes, and this is how I do it. So we're going to peel the yam and then we're going to cut it. So this method I'm going to show you is if you want to cut your yam and preserve it, but to boil it. Yeah, so this one I'm going to cut it and keep it in the freezer just so that I can boil it. This is one if I want to boil my yam. So here I'm gonna cut it into pieces. You can cut it in any shape you like. That's completely up to you. This is how I cut mine when I want to boil my yam. Yes, so I'll cut it into round circles and then I'll cut it into 4. You can cut it into circles and keep it like that. The shape is up to you entirely. Yes, up to you. So once I'm done, I'm putting it straight away in a bowl filled with fresh cold water. Yeah, and the yam has to be under that water. The water has to be above the yam. If not, your yam is gonna start getting dark. Yeah, because when the yam stays exposed to the air, it starts getting dark. So you don't want that to happen. So as soon as you cut your yam, you put it in a bowl filled with fresh water. Now all I'm going to do here is to wash it, and put it straight in a plastic bag and put it in the freezer. That is it. So that's the first method for the boiled yam. So this is for the yam I want to boil when I take it out of my freezer. So the thing here is what? A lot of people ask why the yam turn brown when they finish peeling it. The thing is, yam is naturally starchy. There's a lot of starch in your yam. And the thing with starch, when it's exposed to oxygen, it turns out to be black. It turns black or brown. The color changes. So that's why you should not allow your yam to be exposed to oxygen. That's why you put it straight in the water. So here it is. It's going to go in the freezer. The second method is boiling water. So you boil your water. Once the water is boiling, you're going to put your yam in there and you're going to allow it to sit in the boiling water for 10 minutes or so. I leave it for 10 minutes because my yam is quite thick. So I'm going to boil it for 10 minutes. But 5 minutes should be normal. This is blanching. It's called blanching. We want to blanch the yam before we put it in the freezer. So usually blanching is 3 to 5 minutes. But because my yam, when you want to blanch vegetables, 3 to 5 minutes is enough. But because my yam is quite thick, I'm going to blanch it for 10 minutes at least. So once that is done, after 10 minutes, I have a bowl here. Look at that bowl. It's full of water and ice. Yes, the water needs to be icy, very, very cold. So all I'm going to do here is to remove my yam, and as soon as I take it out, I put it straight in the water, in the cold, icy water. And why is that? It's just to stop the cooking process. So that the yam can stop cooking, because we are not cooking it, we are just blanching it. So this yam is not cooked. It's not cooked. We put it straight in the icy cold water. We're going to leave it in there for 3 to 5 minutes just so that it can just cool down properly. And then what I do, I will take it out and put it on a tray that has some tissue paper on it, just so that it can absorb the water, allow the water to drain very well. And then we're going to put it on another tray, and this one I laid baking paper on it, put it in there and put in the freezer to freeze. Yes. So now I'm going to show you how I do my yam, how I put my yam in the freezer, how I keep my yam when I want to fry it. So I keep 2 different types of yam. The one I want to fry and the one I would like to boil. I get them ready and keep keep them in the freezer. And here for that one, I'm showing you the second method of peeling. So you can peel that way as well. If holding the whole yam in your hand and peeling is difficult, if you don't have control over it, this is how you can do it. You slice it first and then you peel it. It's as easy as that. And I'm now going to cut it into long shapes, like rectangles, like chips, but thick chips. Yeah, yam is quite hard compared to potatoes, so cutting it very thin, extra thin, is gonna, when you fry it, it's gonna be too dry. Can I say that? Yes, it's gonna be too dry or so. Well, I don't like it like that. I like it to be thicker, so that's why I cut it like that. So like I said, the shape is entirely up to you. I'm just showing you how I do mine. So this is how I cut it when I want to keep it in the freezer for frying. So I'm going to put it straight in the water, and I told you why. And now once it's washed, I'm going to fry it. So once the oil is ready, put it in the oil, wash, it's already washed. Make sure you clean it, you wash it with clean water and all that, and you put it in the oil. We're going to fry it for just 3 to 5 minutes, not more than that. I would say even 3 minutes. I think I did mine for just 3 minutes. Yeah, just for, so once it's in there in the oil, just start checking your watch, because you don't want to cook it, you don't want to fry it completely. Check your watch. When it's like 3 minutes, it's enough. Just take it out of there, or even 2 minutes, like 2 to 3 minutes, but make sure it's not, like, it depends on how hot your oil is, but don't allow your oil to be extra hot, that when you put it in there, it's going to start turning brown. We don't want that. So yeah, so when you put it in there, 2 to 3 minutes, remove it. And when you remove it, we put it straight on a tray that has tissue paper on it, because we want it to absorb all the oil. Yes, if you don't have tissue paper, it's okay. Put it in a tray that will drain it, or a bowl that will drain the oil away. We're going to allow the tissue to absorb the oil. We're going to allow it to drain well and to cool down as well. And then once the yam has cooled down completely, we're going to put it on a tray that has parchment paper, like baking paper, on it as well. That's just so that it doesn't stick to the tray. So you don't have to. If you can put it straight in your tray, that's completely fine. But I put a parchment paper in my tray so that it does not stick to the tray. And then I put it in the freezer. This is called flash freezing. Yes, we want to freeze it like that, and then take it out and put it in our bags. Because if you put it straight like that in the freezer, in the bags, and in the freezer, it will stick to one another, it will stick to each other. And then this is for frying, so you don't want it to be stuck, to the other one, because when you put it in the oil, you want to be able to separate them, So yeah, that's why I do it like that. So here it is, it's ready in the tray. We're going to put it in the freezer and come back the next day. And yes, good morning. It's the next day. It's frozen. Look at that. They are all separated. When you put it in the bag, they are all separated and nice. And you can put it back in your freezer and use it whenever you are ready. This is the boiled one. Remember, we froze it like that as well. We're going to put it all in the plastic bag. Now they can't stick to the other one, Yeah, and anytime you want to boil it, you can use it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and see you in my next video. Bye.